Yeah, guys, let's discuss something called method overloading in .NET. So, what is method overloading? It is also called as function overloading. Okay, it's a process of writing a function definition many times with same name, but with a different argument list. This is called as method overloading. Okay, so overloading comes under compile time polymorphism. Okay, in object-oriented programming, we have different concepts like encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. Okay, so out of all these four, polymorphism is we can implement polymorphism in two ways in C sharp. Number one, compile time polymorphism, and number two is runtime polymorphism. Okay, or some people will call it as static polymorphism and dynamic polymorphism. So right now what we are talking about is called as compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism. Okay, so how can we implement this method overloading? It can be implemented in the following three ways. Number one, with the different number of arguments. So we are writing a function with same name many times, but with a different number of arguments, or with different type of arguments, or with different order of arguments. So we can do in any one of these three ways. That is called as method overloading. So let's get started with a small demo. Okay, let's switch to Visual Studio. Let's create a new project. So select console app.NET framework and click on next, and let's leave the project name as it is. So now what are we doing is we are trying to calculate sum. Okay, sum function I'm going to write some function. But what is sum here? Sum can be for two numbers or three numbers, or it may be for four numbers, depends upon your requirement. So in that case what we do is, if I write a function like this, so what are we doing now? Method overloading demo 1. So what are we doing? With the different number of arguments. Okay, we are passing different number of arguments or different number of parameters. You can write like anything. Okay, so what are we writing? Static void sum is my method name, in which we have, so like two parameters I'm taking, integer x and y, and here I'm writing console.writeLine sum is x plus y. Okay, so we are writing x plus y in parenthesis because we need to calculate first x plus y, the result I want to concatenate. Okay, so that's why I kept in parenthesis, otherwise it will be concatenated. So let's call this function, guys, sum of 10 and 20. So just we are calling sum function with the two parameters. Just I'm writing console.read key in order to stop the output. Okay, let's run it and see. It's a simple program in which we have a method called sum, which contains two parameters called x and y, and just we are adding x plus y. Okay, so after defining the function body, what we are doing, we are calling the function with two values. So the first 10 will go and store in x, and second 20 will go and store in y, and we are printing x plus y. You will get 30 as the result. Let's run it and see. See the output, guys. We have output called sum is 30. Simple. So now sometimes the user may pass three parameters, so my program should be able to read okay, three values also. So what to do? Just I will copy paste the same function again. Second time I'm writing, but this time if you write like this, you'll get an exception error. See this error, guys? Program already defines a member called sum with the same parameter types. So what you do, you need to add one more parameters like integer z. So now there is no issue, x plus y plus z. So this time what I can do, I can pass three parameters also. Okay, guys, please mute yourself, somebody is talking in the background. So now what are we doing? We are passing 11, 20 to 33. So when you pass two parameters, it will go and check with the first function definition. Yes, it is matched. So two parameters are there in this function definition, so it will call the first body. Second one, I passed three parameters. then it will come and check with the first body, not matched. Then it will come and check with the second one. Yes, three arguments are there, three parameters matched. So you will get this is getting called, and you will get x plus y plus z, that is 11 plus 22 plus 33 will be displayed. So this time there is no error at all. So this is called as method overloading or function overloading. Okay, and it comes under compile time polymorphism, because the decision of calling the respective function, it need to call the first body or second body, will be decided at the time of compilation. That is why this is called as compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism. Okay, so when you call like this, it will call the function, first function with two parameters. If you pass 3, it will call the second function with the 3 parameters. Suppose if you pass 4 parameters, since we don't have 4 parameterized function, so obviously you'll get an exception. Okay, so I don't know, sir, how many parameters are there. I don't know how many I'm going to pass. Can I do that? So if I pass 2, it should work. 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there any possibility? Means yes, we have a small concept called params, different type of passing arguments, params keyword. So with that you can do it. Okay, that's all about method overloading. First example, demo 1, in which we are done with the. So let's copy this and paste it in our notes. Yeah, let's go to file, save as 30th. Okay, we'll paste it. The first example is completed in method overloading, that is with different number of arguments, because here I passed 2 arguments, here I passed 3. So obviously fine. So now we are moving to the next example, that is called as method overloading with the different type of arguments. So what I'm doing is, let us copy this. Let's go to file, close solution. I'm creating a new project now. Create new project. Same console app.NET framework. Click on next. So creating another project. So let's paste this body. One second, guys. Let's paste it. So what is this? Method overloading demo 2. Second example, where we are showing difference in a different type of parameters with the different type of arguments or type of parameters. Okay, type of arguments. So what are we doing here? First we have integer type of arguments, and second one we are taking a double type, double x and double y. Okay, or you can take something like a boolean also, if you want to take boolean, string, whatever. And parameter names can be anything, guys. It may be xy or it can be num1, num2. It's your wish. Okay, so now we are adding again sum is, and again x plus y. And sometimes if user may pass two string variables, I need to concatenate both of them together. So what to, again I'm pasting the sum body, but this time I want to take a string value. So that is why I'm taking string s1 and string s2. You can give anything, guys. You can give xy also, there is no problem. And here what I'm saying is, since they are strings, I'm saying full name is s1 plus s2. Just we are concatenating s1 plus s2. In between I need a space, right? So that I'm giving double quotes, open close. Okay, now come down to main method. Here we have three function bodies. First sum is having two integer type parameters. Here also we have two parameters, but these are of which type? Double type. Here also we have two parameters. These are of which type? String type. So like this, you can go for a different type of arguments in a C sharp. Now what I'm doing, I'm going to call the sum with the integer values like 10 and 20 I'm passing. It's perfectly fine. And again I'm calling sum. This time I'm passing something like double values, decimal points, numbers with decimal points. Third time I'm passing some names like Surya and Prakash. I'm giving two strings. Okay, see guys, and finally I'm giving console.read key in order to stop the output. So when you call a function with two integer values, it will come and check with the body. Yes, we have integer type parameters, so this will be called. So when you pass second time with decimal points like double values, it will come and call the second definition. There is no issue. Third time when I call a function with two strings, it will come and call this third body. So in this way, you are implementing polymorphism. So what is meant by polymorphism? Poly means many. There are two Greek words called poly and morphos. Polymorphism is inherited from two Greek words. Okay. So let me write the notes for you. Polymorphism is inherited from two Greek words. So one is poly and second one is morphos. Poly means poly and morphos. These are the two Greek words. So poly means many, morphos means forms. So what it means? Many forms. Okay. So poly means many and morphos means forms. So what is meant by polymorphism? In many forms we can implement a task. Different ways we can implement. So here I'm adding two integer values, then I may add two double values, I may add two strings also. I don't know which way I'm going to add. So that is why I'm going to use method overloading or function overloading. Let's copy and paste this. Okay, this is the second demo. So first, different number of arguments completed, and third one is different type of arguments also completed, and third one is different order of arguments. Where is our notes? So let me copy and paste this notes also here. So let's go to this, let's paste this code. Okay, yeah. So let us see the third one, guys, where we are going to do different order of arguments. Okay, so here we will pass only two parameters, but those two are in a different order. Okay, type will also be same. So one is integer, another one is string, but I will pass in a different order. That is called as method overloading with a different order of arguments. So let's get started. So what is this? Method overloading demo 3 with the different order of arguments. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are writing a method called display, static void display, and in which I'm taking employee id, integer emp id, and string ename. So what is my intention? User will pass employee id first, followed by name. So what should I do? Just I need to print employee id like this, emp id, plus beside that I want to print employee id, beside that slash t, tab space I want to give, and here I want to print name of the employee. Name plus ename. Ename is my variable name and name is the label I want to display. Okay, but there is no guarantee that everyone will pass employee id first and name next, right? Sometimes some employees will pass their name first and they will pass the employee id later. So in that case, what to do? We need to write a one more function definition. Let's copy paste. This time I want to take see guys, whenever you paste it as it is, you got an exception error here. You see what it is saying? Program already defines a member called display with the same parameter types, integer, string. Here also I said integer, string. So definitely there is an error. So what to do? First I want to take a employee name, then I want to take employee id. So string ename comma integer emp id. Now there is no issue. So how do you want to print again? First name, and then employee id. no was I want to print like this means you can leave it. It's your wish how you want to present it. So first name, employee name, that is ename value, then employee ID slash t I'm giving here. Okay, let us delete it. So perfect. So first situation, if user passes employee ID first and name next star, this will be executing. And if user passes name first and then ID next star, then this will be executed. Okay. So let's come here and call the function called display. So what I'm passing 1001 and I'm passing name Surya. Okay. First method is getting called. So let's run it first. Console.read key and see the output now. So you will get the first one, employee ID 1001 and name is Surya. Okay. So but this time, next time, what I want to do is I want to pass call what you call first name. I want to give like Prakash, and then I want to give employee ID 1002. So then when you pass first string and followed by integer means you will get the second body. This is getting invoked. Okay. So because the data types are matched, right? First string ename and then integer employee. Now you run it, it will work for both. So you are getting two messages. So first message employee ID and name is coming from the first definition, and then employee name and ID is coming from the second definition. So you are giving flexibility to the end user that he or she can pass in any way, any model. They may pass employee ID first and name next. No, they want to pass name first and then ID also possible. So this is called as method overloading, also known as function overloading, which comes under compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism. So any doubts in this, guys? Is it clear, everybody? Hello.
Okay, sir.
Okay
Yes,
na?
sir. Okay, sir.
Clear na? Fine. Yeah. Now let us discuss something called there is another topic called different types of passing arguments in a C sharp. Different types of passing arguments. How many types we can pass arguments in C sharp? Number one, value type. Okay, this is the default type. Actually there is no keyword. This is the default type. So second one is something called reference type. So we can pass we can use ref keyword. Okay. Third one is there is something called output type. Here we have to use out keyword. Fourth type is something called params type. Params type. So here we have to use params keyword. So these are the four types of ways to pass arguments to methods. Passing arguments to methods. Methods means functions. So how many ways we can pass? Value type, that is the default type. Let us see the first example, like swapping, guys. Same swapping example I'm telling you now. How to swap two numbers in value type, which is said to be default type. Okay. So let's get started. Let's open Visual Studio, save all, go to file, close solution, create a new project, select console app.NET framework, click on next and create. So now what are we doing? We know what is swapping, right? So anybody, what is swapping?
Changing value A to A value to B, B value to A.
Exchange the value, sir.
Yeah, we are interchanging the values of two variables. Okay. So types of passing arguments to methods. Okay. First value type we are talking about. Okay. So I'm writing a function name called swap, in which we are taking two parameters like a and b, or you can take x and y also. It's your wish how you want to swap x and y. Here what we are doing, xy value I wanted to swap. So I'm taking temporary variable and temp equal to x equal to y, and y is equal to temp. Okay, and then here I'm writing in swap, inside the swap, what are the values of a is equal to, or x equal to also can say, it's your wish, and then slash t tab space plus b is equal to, b means b is equal to means y value. So you can give any variable name, guys. A is equal to, b is equal to, or x equal to, something like that. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking two variables here. Okay, so like taking ab, two variables. So let's ask the user for ab values or two values, or enter ab values. I'm saying here, I'm reading the first value into a is equal to convert dot to into the two of console dot read line. First number is ready. Now we are asking for second value. Copy paste. Second value is received into b. So both are ready. So now let's print the values of a and b before swapping. So before swap, a is equal to plus a, I'm printing a value, slash t means tab space, and here I want to print a b value. So first when you run it, so the execution starts from main method, it will come and ask for two values. So whatever values I'm entering, like 10 20 I gave, so the 10 20 will be printed here. Then I want to call this swap function. So how to call swap method? Swap of a comma b semicolon. Then so ab values will be passed to this method, where the value of a is received into x and b value will come into y. So now we are swapping here and we are printing xy values. So obviously if you give 10 20, it will become 20 and 10. But now the point is, when you coming out of this swap, here if I'm trying to print again xy values or ab values, can you guess what is going to happen, guys? When you run the program, it will come and execute these lines first. Okay, so ab values I'm giving, if you give 10 20, 10 20 will be printed. But whenever I call swap here, calling swap method, what happens when I call swap method? It will come to x and y and you will get 20 10. This is here output is 20 10, 20 and 10. Here the output would be 10 and 20, because whatever I'm giving, that will be printed. That is also fine. But can you guess the value of this line, guys? Line number 29. What is the output you are expecting? Can you
20,
guess?
10 20, sir.
10 20.
Original values are
Yeah, original values will be printed. So let's check it out and let's write console.read key. Now you see the output. See, it is asking me two values for a and b. I gave 10 20. So before swap 10 20, in swap 20 and 10, and after swap, I mean, sorry, what is this? Here we need to change right after swap. Okay, let's see the output now. So before swap, whatever values we have given, same thing. In swap 20 and 10, because it is swapped in swap method. But when I come back to my main method, so you will get only 10 20. Okay, because the changes what we have done so far in swap will not reflect the actual arguments in a and b, which is in main method. This is called as value type. Okay, so this is the default way. I'm not using any keywords here. That is called as value type. Okay, so let's copy this, paste it in our notes. First model is completed. So now we are trying to convert the same program into reference type. Reference type means I'm going to pass ref keyword, reference with ref keyword. So instead of a and b, I will write ref a, ref space a, and ref space b. Means what? We are passing reference of a and b. So it will come and store in. We cannot store reference in a normal variable, so we have to change it to reference type here as well. Let's check it out. Let's go back to this. Let's try to copy the same. Let's create a new project. Go to file, close solution. We are creating a new project. Console app.NET framework. Click on create. So let's paste the code here itself. And here I'm saying reference type demo. So what is reference type demo? So this time, I think is missing any keyword. So why it is showing error? Namespace cannot directly contain members. Okay. So we have to write class name, something like program. Okay. So that is removed. That's why we have this message. Check it out. Sometimes when you do any changes to the existing code, you may get error like this. Okay. For newer versions, you may get internal class programmer. So whether it is internal or without internal, it is okay, no issues. Okay. Yeah. So now what I want to do, reference type. So if you want to pass reference of a variable, you have to use ref keyword here. Reference of A will be passed, reference of B will be passed, and here you have to take again ref keyword at the time of accepting values from reference type. So now if you see, so here instead of 10 20, you will get 20 and 10, because whatever changes are happening in a swap method will reflect the original arguments called A and B. Okay, we are passing reference here. Okay, passing references to swap method. Okay, let's run it and see, guys. Now you will get, before swap 1020 will be coming, in swap 2010, and after swap also you will get 2010. See the output, guys. So after swap also I have 2010 because of the ref keyword. Okay, that is the difference between value type and reference type. Okay, if anybody asks you in interviews what is difference between value type and reference type, you can say the same example as it is. When you do swapping with reference, I mean keyword, the changes what are made in our own function or user defined function will reflect the actual arguments. But coming to without ref keyword, if you pass by default, that is said to be value type. The changes what we made in the actual parameters will not reflect the formal parameters. Okay, so that is what we have to remember while working with. Okay, so better to write output also for these programs. So what is the output we got actually? So let us copy this, come down and try to paste it. So coming to value type, we got 1020. Coming to reference type, the output is 2010. Okay, this is the output we received. Okay, fine. Now let's see the third model, guys. So what is the third one? So value type, reference type completed. Third model is out type or output type. Guys, are you listening or sleeping?
Listening, sir. Listening.
Listening. Okay.
Listening, sir.
Yeah. So let us write a function called sum again. Integer x and y. I am taking two parameters. Okay. And I want to return a value this time. So I said integer. Instead of void, I said integer. Means I want to return x plus y value. So what I said, return x plus y. That is fine. So how do we call it? We simply call it. So what is the program is all about? Output type parameter or out type parameter demo. Okay. So if you want to call this sum function, so how do we call? Let us take two variables like a and b.
Sir.
And c also I'm taking, or without c also can do it. So what I'm doing here, console.writeLine, enter two values. I'm reading two values from user. The first one is getting stored into a, second one is we are reading to b itself. So copy paste, a b values are ready. So now what we are doing, we are trying to print it. How to print? Integer result is equal to res, I'm taking result variable, is equal to sum of a comma b. So I'm passing a b values to some function. So whenever I call a b with some function with a b values, a will come and store in x and b will come and store in y. Return x plus y, the value of a b will come and store, a plus b value will come and store in res. I'm printing the result here. So sum is res. You will get sum here. So let's say console.read key and then run it. So what is the output of this? So when I enter 10, 20, sum is 30. That is fine. It's good. But what I want to do is I want to calculate product of these two as well. 10 into 2200 also I want to display. So for that, instead of going to write another function called static integer product, I want to do both sum and product with the same function. Is it possible? Yes, absolutely possible. So how to do it? Generally, from every function, we can return only one value by default. But I want to return more than one value. So what to do? So out to parameter, out type parameter or output type parameter allows you to return more than one value from a function, from a method or function. Okay. So how to return more than one value? So with the help of out keyword. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a variable called c, extra variable, and here at the time of calling I'm taking out c. So this is what type of variable? Out type of variable. So what is the meaning of out keyword? If you add, instead of passing value like a and b, out type parameter is ready to receive value from here. If you want to receive any value, there should be another output type parameter, out integer z. So what is z here? Z is a variable which is multiplying x into y value. I'm multiplying xy value. So suppose if I give 10, 20, 200 will be calculated. That is getting stored in z. That z value will travel in downwards. It will come and store in c itself. So let's print c here. Console.writeLine. Product is, we are printing c value. Now you will get sum and product both. With the help of out parameter we are getting product, and with the return keyword we are getting sum of the two numbers. So we got sum as well as product with the help of only one function. A return keyword is returning integer, sum, and then out type parameter is returning product. Okay, so instead of writing two functions, I've done the job with the only one function because of out keyword. Okay, it is possible to return more than one value. So z is returning one value and return keyword is returning one value. Okay, so that's the way to work with the out keyword. Is it clear, guys? Out keyword is used to return more than one value from a function. So it will travel in top to bottom direction. Generally, AB will be passed from here to there. Like from here it will go, A value will go from here to X and B value will go to Y. But Z value will be calculated and it will come back down to the C variable. That is why this is the output type parameter or out parameter. Okay. So the last example now we are talking about is the last example that we are talking about is called as params type. Okay, which is dynamic, and when we don't know the number of parameters we are passing, so params keyword is used to pass variable number of arguments to a method. So what is variable number of arguments? If you want to pass unknown number, I don't know, sir, whether I pass 2 or 3, I don't know what to do. In that case, we go to params keyword. Okay. For example, I want to calculate sum, but how many numbers? I don't know. It may be 2 numbers or 3 numbers or 4 numbers, but my program should be able to handle all sort of numbers. Means we go for params type. Okay. Params type demo. So how do we do it? Static integer. Okay. So sum I'm taking, but this time taking integer array and you have to take params here, params integer array, and the array name is something like ARR. You can take anything, guys. And is there any problem? So I need to return params type parameter is there. I can return a single value, but I don't know how many parameters the user is passing. So we know now this is array syntax. We are taking an array, and params is a new keyword which I added. So now what I'm doing is I can calculate the sum of two variables using any variable like s is equal to 0. S or sum also can take, but already function name is sum, right? That's why I'm taking s here. So let's take a for loop integer I equal to 0, I less than arr dot length I plus plus. So what we are writing, we don't know how many they pass, right? So s is equal to s plus arr of I. So every number I'm adding to sum means s variable, and finally I'm returning s, which contains sum of all the numbers. So now what is the advantage if I do so? I can call the sum function with two parameters, it is okay, and later on I can call the function with three parameters also, okay, triple one, triple two, triple three. So it's perfectly all right, there is no issue. So this is very much flexible when we don't know how many arguments are going to be passed by user. Just write and see. So the first time, of course, I forgot to print it, right. So console.writeLine, and then call it inside this. So it will be called and executed. Same thing I'm doing here. Just paste it. So let's pass three values now, 100, 200 and 300 I'm passing. Can be any values, guys. So let's run it and see. You will get 100 and 600. So first 30 is coming from the first. So you can see first 30, 10 plus 20, 30. Second one is 100 plus 200 plus 300. If you want the message like sum is equal to, means you can add sum also, like this, and concatenating sum plus. Okay, so message is your wish how you want to print. So in this way, you can use what you call output type parameter. So which is having params type argument, which is having flexibility to pass any number of arguments. You can pass two arguments here, three. Tomorrow you want to pass four arguments. Yes, absolutely fine. You can copy paste it again, and you can pass one more number like 500. I want to pass. So perfectly fine. Now you run it, you will get 1100, 600 plus 500, 1100. So like this you can make use of out type parameter, params type parameter, and for variable number of arguments. Out type parameter we have done in previous example, and then by default is value type, and if you want to pass the reference of two variables, we can pass ref keyword. Okay, so we have used three keywords, like params keyword is a new one, and we have used out keyword for output type parameter, and ref keyword is to pass the reference of a variable from one function to another function, and by default if you don't specify any keyword, that is said to be value type here. Okay, so we have done successfully with the types of passing arguments and method overloading with the three different examples. Okay, so that's all about polymorphism.